We're going to look at a contract for a school bus stop arm camera company. And for this one specifically, I went into my search engine, I typed in Quakertown board docs, and it pulled up this. And I want to say awesome for Quakertown. A few other schools did this, but thank you for putting this up and being so transparent with your information, because it is a staple that has been lost a lot recently. So awesome on Quakertown. We're going to hit the magnifying glass there at the top with the little search, and we're going to type in Bus Patrol, that's the company, and contract. Hit return. And we are going to pull up the final agreement here for April 28th, 2022, Bus Patrol America. Click on that and go down to this blue part here, Bus Patrol Partner Agreement with Quakertown Community School District, the final one. Ahead, and I jumped us to page 8 on the Quakertown contract. This has to do with revenue distributions. I found this to be very eye-opening in the contracts. Now, they talk about attachment B, the square in the pink. We'll get to that at the very end. That's on page 25. It kind of lays things out a bit. All right, required distributions. And I'll go ahead and read the laws, the sections of the law they're talking about here. So required distributions, what that means is that in the state of Pennsylvania, every school bus camera ticket is $300. Now the state decided that $50 of that $300 is to be allocated split evenly for $25 each to two organizations. The first is a law enforcement agency that signed off on the ticket. And the second group that gets a $25 cut is the Pennsylvania School Bus Safety Grant Program account. And that is run by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, the same people that wrote the manual on how to operate a school bus. Those can be found in Pennsylvania Law 75, Section 3345.1, subsection C, II, and III. Now, that leaves us with $250. That gets into revenue share payments. Pennsylvania Law 75, Section 3345.1, subsection C, I, basically says that the $250 that the school district brings in, if they bring in a contractor, they can do a revenue share program. They can pay the contractor with the revenues from the citations. In this case, in Pennsylvania, in Quakertown, they decided to do a 40% of every ticket of the $250 remaining goes to the school district, 60% goes to the company. But that's not all, because that 40% is going to get a lot less here in a second. Next, we have technology fees. Now, these, in my opinion, are brutal. Technology fees, that is the cost that the company is going to bill the school, and they're basically going to take out a little bit each month of the tickets generated. So in this case, it's going to be $200 for each school bus per month. And it is to be deducted from the district's 40% revenue share payment. So your technology fee is just going to get cut right out of that 40%. Now 5.1.3.2 here, how do you determine how much it is? It's $200 multiplied by the number of buses. I believe Quakertown had 59 buses. That has to be made up every month, and it has to be pulled from the 40% revenue share payment. And then 5.1.3.3 just says that additional technology fees can be assessed if equipment is lost or damaged by district personnel or result of vandalism. So, all right, pushing down to page 9. Now on page 9, I found this to be one of the most eye-opening parts of the contract, 5.1.3.4. Basically what this says is that the school is going to get a 40% revenue share payment. The technology fee comes out of that revenue share payment. But if that share payment is short to pay the full amount of the technology fee, like let's say you have $1,000 or $2,000 left over, that amount is going to roll over or be pushed on or added to next month's technology fee. And then they're just going to keep deducting enough out of that 40% share until everything's paid in full. So, I'm sure on your summers or on your holiday breaks, you're going to start seeing a few months where your buses aren't running because, it's the holiday, and it's going to just keep compounding up like that. Because the company's 60% is just secured and off to the side. Now 5.1.3.5 basically gets bus patrol gets into how the company assumes the risks that the revenues generated from the fines and penalties will be sufficient to pay the technology fees. And at the end of the term, and they mean the contract, if there's anything left over, that the school doesn't have an obligation to pay that back. But again, the company is getting at least 60% of $250 on every ticket, plus the technology fee. Just wanted to reiterate that again. Payment model. This is what was referred to up on page 8. And what it does is it gets into a breakdown of the finances, or a hypothetical breakdown of the finances for the month. In this month, they had a quantity of 300 tickets, unit price at 300 tickets. And this is just an example. Your total amount is going to be $90,000, minus the $50 off the top on every ticket to be split amongst law enforcement. So you're looking at $15,000 taken out of that. The remaining revenue is $75,000. Now, of that, the school is going to get 40%, while the company is going to get 60%. So $45,000 to the company, $30,000 to the school. Going down a little more, we have the monthly technology fee, the 59 buses times the $200 per bus for the camera equipment. You're looking at, and this is a monthly payment, $11,800 a month has to be made for the technology fee. That amount has to come out of this right here, the $30,000. This is the part where if you don't make, let's say one month you don't make that $11,800 and you're short $1,000, that $1,000 is going to roll over to the next month, plus the $11,800. So basically your distribution to the school will be $18,200, and the company is going to pocket of the $90,000 in citations, $56,800. Now those technology fees, and this is what I thought was interesting, you take that amount, you multiply it by 60, the months are like, usually they're 5-year contracts, so you multiply the $11,800 by 60 months, the total cost of your equipment is going to be $708,000. Let's just say I've seen lowest bid, and in my opinion, that might be a bit steep. I'm going to shift our attention to the tech fees paid part of the contract. Now, this is broken up into 2 areas. I'm going to try to run through it fast, pause it where you need to if you want to look at the diagrams I just threw together here. This is tech fees paid after and tech fees paid before the 60-40 splits. Really quick on the key here, the company is going to be everything with the black outline, the police is the yellow outline, PennDOT is the orange outline, and the schools are Quakertown colors, the blue outline. All right, for the technology fee, first we started off with taking the $200 per bus per month, multiplying it by 59 buses, we have $11,800. We then push that through the revenue split of 60-40 because the revenue split happens before the technology fees are paid. We have 250 multiplied by 60%, which gives us $150. And then the school is going to walk away with $100, but not so fast. It's going to get a little bumpy here. So they're we're next going to try to find out the quota, which means how many tickets need to be signed off or paid for in order for the schools to break even for each month. So we take the $180,000, which is the total of the technology fees, divide it by 100 to get 118 tickets. That is the break-even point where the schools will walk away without a deficit rolling from month to month to the next month. We take that quota, the 118, we multiply it by 150. I'm sorry. The 118 tickets times the 150 that the company gets per ticket after the split, and we have $17,700. We add the technology fee to the $17,700. The company will pocket $29,500, or 83.33%. The school will walk away with nothing, or 0%, and then the $25 for both PennDOT and the police. Multiply that by the 118. The police will get $2,950. PennDOT will get $2,950, or 8.33% each of the totals or the gross tickets for cost for that month. Now let's see what happens if you pay the technology fees after the split. Now, I have seen this in a contract, and I might get into that a little bit later. The technology fees paid before, again, you take the 200 times the 59 buses, it's $11,800. You divide that by the 250 because it's the whole ticket paying off before the split. So you'll only need to sign 48 tickets off for the company to basically get their full share on the technology fee. And then you do the split. So in this case, I took the 118 tickets from the last batch just to compare the both, or compare each one. Took the 118 tickets, subtracted it by 48 tickets, which is the quota paid before, to get a total of 70 tickets. Take the 70 tickets times the $250, we have $17,500. That's going to be total, and now we do the revenue split. 17,500 times 60% is going to be $10,500. Put that into the company's part of $22,300 on the total. Excuse me, or 62.99%. For the schools, we took the $17,500 multiplied by the 40%, which gives us $7,000, or 19.77%, and then the police and PennDOT each walk away with their 8.33%. So that's it. And I had an accounting teacher my first year of accounting in college tell us that if you ever have a contract with fees or anything involved like that, or revenue shares or splits, you always pay the bill first and then do your revenue shares. This is a prime example of why that practice should be standard in any and all school or public government procurement processes.